And then you're mad because you lost your house because you didn't understand a document that you signed. That's the mentality that we want to kill, because the consumer is always blaming someone else for their condition and is always talking about what they don't have. Now, I don't want to make money so I can put the flyest clothes on and have the nicest jewelry. I want to make money because I got people to take care of. I got people that I love. I want to make money because I'm tired of seeing bums on the street saying, we'll work for food or give me a dollar. I'll give you a job. You want a job? No job? Then you no dollar. You're not getting a dollar because you're bullshitting. You're bullshitting me, you're bullshitting yourself, you're bullshitting society. So I want to have resources to be able to help people who want to help themselves. That's my mission. So when I face the Creator, I got something good to say. Maybe He won't just say straight to Him. I might get something going on. Okay. Purchasing power in mental modes. Think of this. You've got inflation is at what percentage right now? And you should know these things, because if you're going to work for $1 for 8 to 9 hours a day, you want to know what inflation is doing to your dollar. Inflation is currently at 1.7%. That's interesting. That's really interesting when you really look at that. Now, if you place your money into a bank and a savings account, how much you think you're getting on average on return? These are the things that I want you guys to know about. Don't guess. Listen, okay, in this class, guess what? Don't take guesses. You know why? Because guesses is like gambling, and we're not gamblers. We are investors. Guesses are like a person who gets drunk, totally plastered. He gets out in a sports car with no top. It's a sport, or a matter of fact, let's say a motorcycle, 1500, and he's drunk, dead drunk, and he gets in and he goes out onto the street, on the freeway. That's what most people do, or many people do when it comes down to investing. We don't invest like that. We put our helmet on, we're not drunk, we drive appropriately. It doesn't matter if it's a 1500 or 1000 or a Kawasaki, and then it doesn't matter if you know how to ride the vehicle, and if you're not intoxicated and you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're being aware of what's going on. There's risk involved on that motorcycle, but it's not risky because you are doing what it is that you're supposed to do. So in this class, don't guess. If you don't know, stay quiet like this. Now, if you do know, give an answer. And if you don't know, go find out. That's what we do. And I'm not going to tell you to go find out. You go find out. And make it make sense in your life, which means don't find out something and then you can't put $1 in your pocket when you find out. So if you're going to understand inflation is 1.7%, know how to make it apply to you in your life. Now, I'll help and guide you. You can call me at any time. You know, my fiance says up to an appropriate time, but for me, you know, any time, but, you know, up to an appropriate time. Because me, I like to work. So you can call me at any time, and I'll help you with whatever question you got. That's what I'll do for anybody that shows up in this class. I'm going to dedicate my time to you for free, not charging you anything for this. The only thing I ask you is to pass it on. Help the next person. Succeed with your family, man and woman. Do something with your kids. Send them somewhere to school. Okay. So is inflation good or bad? Inflation, we know it's eating up our dollar. Inflation this is an example of inflation. If a Coca-Cola costs $1 today and tomorrow it costs $1.10, that's inflation. So, is inflation good or bad?
I don't know.
I don't want to guess. So let me shut up.
I want to hear what you got to say now. You're not guessing, you're just sharing right at this moment. Is inflation good or bad?
I guess whichever side. Depends on whichever side you're on.
Uh-oh.
Whether you're making money, or you're the consumer, or you're the entrepreneur.
Explain it to us then.
Well, based on what I've heard so far, you know, in entrepreneurship, when prices of things go up, that is your product, then
There you go.
your income will go up. But when you're the consumer and the prices are going up, then you're losing the money.
Well, not so much your income. Okay, let's say I work for a living, and I don't want to work for a living. I've never had a job as an adult. Just want to let you guys know that. And I'm not talking about because I'm out here selling dope or something like that. I've never had a job because I use my intelligence. I like to use my brain. I like to pick up what someone else sees as a rock and make a house out of it. So if you're working and inflation is going up, making your dollar be able to purchase less, that's a good thing if you're a real estate owner, because that means it's going to cost more money to buy my real estate. That means the value of my real estate is going up. That means where you gave me $1 yesterday for this piece of property, you have to give me $2 today. Now, that's good for me because inflation is only going to inflate my real estate. But for the next person, that means that their purchasing power is continuing to shrink over and over and over again as they work. Now, what's interesting about that, not only did you get that $100,000 job and lose $900,000, but inflation is also deflating that $100,000. When you do your homework and you find out what the dollar is worth, you'll see that the dollar, you weren't even really given 100 pennies. So not only did you lose the 900 grand, you're not even getting a full $100,000. And you're going to find out it's more than a $1,000 loss, more than a $10,000 loss, more than a $20,000 loss. So that $100,000 that you thought you got, you didn't even get 80. You didn't even get 78 or 79. It's a little lower than that. And you'll find out, wait a minute here, I got gypped. You mean I lost the 900 grand and then the 100 that I thought I got, I didn't even get? And then what's worse, like I said, inflation hits you, and that little 79 or 78 or 77,000 that you thought you had or thought was 100,000 is not even worth that because inflation ate that up. And then what's worse than that is you get taxed at the $100,000 rate. So it's like, wait a minute here, man, they screwing me from every end. And when I say tax, you get the state tax, federal tax, so they hit you, and then when you buy something, you get taxed again. And it's like, man, where does it stop? Where does the screwing stop? And for me, I don't care. It doesn't bother me one bit because I understand how the cycle flows. I understand how the cycle works, and all I do is say, I'm going to make that system work for me. Because that state tax and that federal tax, you're not going to get any of that from me. Or you're going to get the minimum from me. When it comes down to understanding purchasing power, see, as an investor, I don't want money. I don't want money. It doesn't do me any good other than I can wipe my butt from it and get more probably pleasure than the toilet paper that I use. And the reason why is because it's the same value as toilet paper, except it just has a green picture on it of, you know, Lincoln or whatever you want to say. Benjamin, okay, all that stuff. And I don't need the dollar. What I need is a real asset. We talked about this last week. It's called real estate because it's real. Don't give me the fake stuff, which is that paper stuff that I can burn. Give me something that if it burns down, I'm still going to get paid. That's how that works. Not only am I going to get paid, this thing is going to go up in value. And so since it's going up in value, give me that. So if you give me money, I get rid of it as fast as I can because it has no value in my hands. It only has value if I put feet on it, if it has legs. Now, money for some of us, it talks. If you don't speak English, it speaks Spanish. If you don't speak French, it speaks German. And what I mean by that, it tells you to go and spend me. Spend me on jewelry. Spend me on hair. Spend me on shoes. Spend me on clothes. Go to Disneyland. I was speaking to a woman, and this is what I want to kill in the room. What?
The consumer.
Guess what she said when I was explaining to her how to build her credit? She said, "Oh, I really need it because I got to get new tires on my car." Now, I understand that she's in a situation where she needs new tires on her car, but I guarantee you, because of the way her credit is, she's not going to ever get a credit card to be able to get tires on her car. But guess what? You go and see this young woman a year from now, guess what? She's going to have somehow gotten tires on her car. Now, imagine if she used that credit card. Imagine if she used it. Imagine if she was able to get a credit card. She's going to have those tires, but she's going to have that debt. So a year from now, since she wasn't able to acquire credit, she's not going to have that debt, but she's going to have those tires. Somehow, some way, it's going to work out, because that's how life is. But the difference is she was not able to acquire debt on top of having those tires on that car. See, an investor takes his credit and he makes it multiply. He makes it work for himself very, very hard. I purchased properties with credit cards. And guess what an investor will tell you? Or guess what a conventional real estate broker will tell you? Or guess what a banker will tell you? You can't buy real estate with credit cards. Well, why can't I? I can go take cash off this credit card, can't I? Well, yeah. Well, then why can't I put that money down on a piece of property? Now, the bank doesn't have to know where I got that from. As long as I know where I got that from and I use it to close on that property, that's my business. But if I close property with a credit card, guess what? I'm going to make sure that deal is structured well enough to pay that credit card debt back. My tenant's going to pay that credit card debt. So when I go and collect that rent out of his pocket after he worked 8, 9, 10 hours and got less than he's supposed to get, paid all that tax on that, I still get that money, he pays my bills. That's how I think of it, that's how I see it. So I have a respect for my tenants because I know that they represent my livelihood. I don't disrespect my tenants, but I get the best tenants, I get the best piece of property, I do the least amount of work, and I get the maximum amount of return. Now the thing about that is, once I get that system going, I don't even manage the property. I let a property manager do it. So I'm not caring about none of that stuff. I'm not getting phone calls in the middle of the night. They say there's nightmares and stuff like that. Why? If you set up the right system, your system will work for you. Remember, this is a mental model. Who came up with this system? Before I even draw it, you should know it because we're going to talk about this over and over again. Come on now.
Kawasaki.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, yeah.
You want to expound on that? What am I writing here?
Cash flow quadrant.
Cash flow. Well, this is
the quadrant.
This is a quadrant that represents mentalities. You've got an employee, self-employed, a business owner, and an investor. Now, what I want to do is get you guys to come here. So this is not my scale. This is someone else's scale. I want you to have yourself to where everything is working for you. All you're doing is pushing buttons. You're not even pushing buttons. The buttons are being pushed by people who work for you. A business owner has something in place which allows him to go and travel the world and never have to worry about what's going on, and his money multiplies because he's a business owner. He has a structure that works for him. I'm going to help you put together a structure in this class, which means that you won't have to work. All you have to do is go live life. All you have to do is focus on your kids. All you have to do is focus on your spouse. All you have to do is go and experience food somewhere in Italy or something like that. I sit down with a group of people every Wednesday. You know, I'm like the fly on the wall. I'm the youngest one there. I'm 42 years old. I think the youngest one after that is 58. And they're all retired. And they're all wealthy. And they're all well off. And I sit with them every Wednesday and I listen. And I listen to their stories and I listen to what they talk about because I want to not only be engaged with individuals like that, but I want to understand how they put their structures together. I want to understand how it is that they live the way they live, talk the way they talk, and they do nothing. And it's amazing that there are people like that in the city. And there's a group of people like that in the city. And you want to be connected to people like that in the city. Let me share something with you about a wealthy person. If your friend is a wealthy person and you're poor and struggling and he hasn't given you money, he's not going to give you money even if you ask for it. Because this is something about wealthy people. They have a strong sense of value, and they're pretty much sure of what it is that they want to do and they don't want to do. Which means that if you don't have nothing and this is your friend and he has it and he hasn't offered it to you, he wasn't interested in giving you anything anyway. So the only thing you're doing by asking is humiliating yourself or embarrassing yourself because he's going to say no. Oh, I got whatever. He's going to say no. Now the thing about a wealthy person, if he's going to give it to you, and he sees you doing something or trying to make something happen, he's going to participate if he's that kind of person. So you never have to ask. It's going to be right there. They say ask and it'll be given, seek and you'll find. But in some cases, when you're dealing with persons with money, most of the time, if they really are on top of the game, they're watching you. Because the people with money, there's a thing that's going on. It's called black holes. There's black holes everywhere. People will come and ask wealthy people, hey, I need this, I need that. And if they give it, they're just throwing it into a black hole. Now, a black hole, in a realistic term, is an energy force, it's a gravitational force, and it spins. And that black hole draws in elements of the universe. And the thing about it, light will go into that black hole, and it actually warp the light to where it's going at a different angle. But light will never return out of that black hole. Now, when you have a person with money talking to a person with no money, giving money is like throwing it into a black hole. It's going to bend and warp it, and it's never going to come out or produce anything. And so what they do is a lot of them watch. And they look for individuals who are not black holes. They look for individuals that are planets where life can be sustained on that planet and grow. And they'll share and they'll give you mostly what it is that you really need. What is it that you need? I'm going to write this down. Maybe somebody can understand it. What is it that you need? What is it that you need?
Not to be a consumer.
Okay, I'm glad nobody said money because, I was going to eat you alive if you would have said money. I'll set you up in this class all day long. People wanted to say it, they weren't sure. Hey, it's not money. You don't need money. Yeah, information. It's up to you what you do with it. If you come into a bank, now this is the weirdest thing, but you know like bankers love loaning people money that don't need it. If you come in and ask for $50,000 and you have it, you got that loan all day long. So don't ask for what it is that you don't have. Even if you have to set it up to make it look like you have $50,000, do not walk into a bank and ask for something that you don't already have. In your personal business, how much do you make a year?
Anywhere from 30 to 35.
So we'll say 35. 35, 70. So, Jonathan.
Minimum 24.
Let's say 35, 70, so we're at 90 right now, and then Shonda, get in your personal business. You don't have to. You can just say no.
I mean, I don't.
She's in school. She's a full-time college student.
Yeah.
So she's a full-time college student. She's probably getting so much money. Let's just say with all the 3 or 4 persons right there, let's say $100 grand, $100,000. Okay, then we'll add myself. So we'll say somewhere about $130,000. So if we have $130,000 that we can show, there's not. If we were to partner ourselves, pool our resources, our money, run it through the same similar account, right now we can show $130,000. What bank, based off of that cash flow, listen, we're just looking at cash flow right now, would not loan you $5 grand? That means individually right now you can't qualify for $5,000 if you don't have it together. But we can show $130 grand. Easy to go get a $5,000 loan. So just think of it like this: can I get $6,000, $7,000? Can I get a $10,000 loan? $20,000 loan, $30, $40, $50,000 loan. So you mean to tell me this bank can give me 50, but Bank of America has the same lending standards as Wells Fargo, as Union Bank? So you mean to tell me I can't get a loan simultaneously if the three of these banks now have $150,000? But a loan, we couldn't have done that individually, but collectively we could do that. We can work that. So you see now some people say, well, I didn't make no money, all I did is borrow money. Hold on, the whole world is based off of borrowed money. The United States is functioning off of borrowed money. Haven't you heard about the deficit or what it is, how much the country owes? That's because they borrow money. Money, that's how you make money. See, now the consumer just goes deeper into bad debt. But the investor, the more borrowed money, the greater it is. Because if I owe, this number is going to work. I don't like the deal with small numbers. So this is $1 million. Once again, bad handwriting. And the reason why is because if you look in this Wall Street Journal right here, these are the big players. These are the big boys. Rarely do they talk about a million. They talk about hundreds of millions, billions, and even trillions of dollars. So why are we going to talk about, anything? Hey, we're no different from them. So let's talk about big dollars right here. So what was my point? Where was I going with this? What was I talking about? Oh, pool together right here. Still forgot the point. So I'm going to have to come back to
From every bank.
loan from every bank. Still forgot the point. So I'm going to move on. Yeah, if it comes back to me, I'll hit it up. I want to get through this fast because we got a lot going on today.
I'm gonna take you up on that offer and call you. You know this, right?
Yeah. Okay, we went through this pretty quick. What I like to say is this, that if this is your first time or second time, this is the second class right here, keep this in mind, that it's getting ready to be on and popping. What I mean by that, I know from experience that I've seen it before. I've taught classes like this for years, and I've seen the same thing happen. I see a person become enthused and excited. And the thing about being enthused and excited is that life comes and tries to take that away, and will try to take that away if you let it. It's like, this is how gravity works. If I push this way, in order to go that way, there's an equal and opposite force pushing back that way. Which means if this is a positive thing and it's for you, automatically life is going to come and try to take it away. It's just a natural thing. And what it's doing is trying to make you stronger. You ever notice that you have a reoccurring thing in relationships? It's a bad thing. I keep meeting people like this. And it's because you haven't overcome